Hey everybody, it is Elson932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. We are here again to give some unsolicited advice. Please do me a favor, hit the like, share, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and leave comments below because it is really, really interesting in the comments. Love the comments because the unsolicited advice is just pouring out of everyone and we all have a difference of opinion and I love it. Yes, AK's POV. Yes, hit the like button. Please show your appreciation for the channel. So today I have a few more stories for you. We like these stories, and there's some advice, and some of them is relationship, and some of them is not. Some of them are relationship adjacent. Sometimes it's a blended family, sometimes it's a blended relationship. We're just going to go through and give our unsolicited advice. Because, hey, these are people who are on Reddit or other parts of the internet asking for advice. And though they are soliciting advice, my opinion is the unsolicited one. They didn't ask it of me directly. So let's go to our first story. And for those of y'all who do have a liquor cabinet, for those of y'all who do partake of, as they say, the alcohol, please let me know how you feel about this first story. So it turns out this first story is about I caught my wife's friend's fiance stealing my alcohol. Okay. This is the 30-year-old male is saying that his wife's friend's fiance, who is a 33-year-old male, was stealing the alcohol out of his home. Okay. He says, my wife wants to cut all ties with him and tell her friend, but is this the right approach? Do we tell the wife's friend? Do we, tackle this with the fiance directly? So he says his wife isn't from around there. He's been worried that she'll be isolated and doesn't have a supportive network around. But the wife is in mid 30s, has one child. The friend and the fiance, they're in their mid 30s, no children. They're getting married and they want children. So the wife has always been wary of the friend's fiance. No reason why, but she's just been wary of him. And, her partner, as the wife goes on, the partner is brash, doesn't listen to anyone, drinks a fair bit at social gatherings, gets sleepy and dopey. These are the words in the story. Okay? So we normally set up a lounge, we bring out food, drink. Most times we're around the fiance. He will randomly get up and go to the kitchen to fetch himself something. I'm not really bothered by this, but it irks my wife. Okay? So the wife had the friend and the friend's fiance around. They were entertaining them. And, per his wife's request, she said, keep the kitchen door closed. Bring the drinks, the food, and everything out into the lounge so that he isn't able to get into our liquor. Okay, so if we bring the liquor out in an area, he won't go looking for it. So about 15 minutes in, the friend's fiance, stands up and goes into the kitchen. This prompts me to check on the food in the oven that I'd forgotten about, so I immediately get up. He walks into the kitchen and sees the wife's friend's fiance. They're examining a bottle of vodka. It had been hidden away because, of course, they had small children around visiting in the house. Truth be told, he said he and his wife, they really don't drink. Don't remember much about it. So he said he had, he hung back. He let him see that he spotted him. The fiance attempted to hide the bottle of vodka in the back, but he had already clocked it. He already saw him. So he said, though I'm not too particularly care about alcohol leaving, the thing is that don't try and steal from me. So he said, all of a sudden he realized, I guess after the fact, 2/3 of the 1 liter bottle was gone. He's like, I'm adamant I bought the vodka for a party of friends 3 years ago. It was open for a single round of shots. How come now, since his visit, 2/3 of the liquor is gone? He'd been in the kitchen for 20 seconds max before I got there. The vodka was hidden away, so he had to have gone straight for it. He said over Christmas, then he went through the cabinets, he had his parents over, and he realized that a lot of bottles that he don't even remember opening, the seal was broken. The seal was broken. He said, what else and where else has he been through and around their house? He's a little put off by this. He's like, this is, foolishness. So he said, I told my wife, who originally laughed at it and said, get rid of the alcohol. And now that she slept on it, she's more concerned. He's like, I don't want to risk placing a wedge between her and her best friend, but I'm not sure what to do. So here's my thing. Here's my unsolicited advice. Okay? Unsolicited advice. The person is a guest in your home and they are stealing your liquor. That is no guest. They don't need to be invited to your house again. I'm sorry. They don't need to be invited to your house anymore. They don't. See, my wife's friend's fiance is stealing. You aren't allowed in my home. And the friend needs to know about this. He may need help. He just may need help. AK's POV is saying, hey, maybe the gentleman needs help. He's helping himself to the liquor. He's helping himself already to the liquor. So maybe he needs another kind of help. As your wife said, get rid of the liquor. I would totally get rid of the liquor. You don't mean to throw it away, whatever. Lock it up, put it in the trunk of your car, make sure it's someplace he can't find it, and then invite them and see how he behaves. Maybe you need cameras around. I don't know. Maybe you need to say, hey, check out this videotape, click, of your person stealing my liquor. Click, check out this other instance of your person stealing my liquor. Because if you and your wife don't really pop in bottles like that at home, then you would know the inventory of what you have. It is very embarrassing then, as he said, his parents came by, his parents came to visit, and all of a sudden you don't have any liquor, or seal's been broken and you don't know what's left. That is truly embarrassing now to you. So I'm glad that your wife is listening to you, but again, you could choose to tell him, because if the friend marries that man, that he gonna be around forever. Forever. But your wife may need to handle this. You may need to talk to him and backpedal it and be like, okay, if he don't get help, y'all can't be around our house. There's some people have friends that they meet outside in public. They don't invite them to their home. And there's a reason for that. It's like, I'll see you and meet you at a restaurant. I'm not going to have you at my house. Some people do that. Some people say it's the energy. And in this case, it's the alcohol that this man is taking from your cabinets. Again, he should not be stealing from you. If you have not invited him to have that, liquor, he shouldn't be having it. Hide it away and then monitor him again if you feel like it. But other than that, I have no problem. My unsolicited advice is don't have them at your house. Speak on it. Tell him exactly why they're not invited to your house. Maybe he does need help, but until he gets the help he needs, he don't need to be at your house. The friend neither, because that is her fiance. So I guess she will have to be with her man. I'm sorry. Let me know your unsolicited advice for this. I know I'd be mad, especially if it's a bottle I was given as a gift and I'm waiting for a special occasion to pop that bottle. I will be way hot. I'll be way hot that you're walking around and think you can just get up in my liquor cabinet and just take what you want. I'm sorry. That's just, that's too much for me. You won't be invited back to my house at all. So let me know what your unsolicited advice is for this. And in the meantime, I hope you have hit that like button. So let's get on to number 2. We have 4 stories today, okay? I'm listening to your comments that I should do more than 3. And maybe one time we would probably do an hour max and just go through and see what other stories we could find on the internet. But I have some pre-prepared stories for you right now. So next story. It's all about the chores. Says, my 22-year-old male boyfriend wants to split all the chores even when he is unemployed. And I, a 23-year-old female, work full time. So the unemployed 22-year-old male wants to split all the chores with his full-time working girlfriend. Okay. Said, hey, okay, I'm home tonight and my boyfriend is playing. What? Y'all can say it all with me. Video games. While the washing machine was done, waiting for me to help him put the clothes out 50-50. Y'all know we hear that ringing tone 50-50 a lot. Okay. I said I'll do it, but it's really annoying to come home from work and still have to help him do chores when I already worked all day. He raised his voice as always, saying, you are working, so I am your, they say the word slave, but this is not the connotation we used to use, to do all the chores in the house. Like if we were both working, then no one would clean the house at all. I said, no, of course. I would gladly do 50-50 with him when we would both be working. Like to me, the logic is if he was working and not me, I would take 10 minutes out of my day, do the laundry, just so we could have more time together. And he would have less to do when he came home. Am I demanding too much of him? He gets up at midday every day. I work from 7:30 a.m. and he spends all of his days playing video games. This has been the way for over 7 months. Can y'all hear me? She said this has been this way for over 7 months. We cannot communicate through disagreements. When he thinks it's something that's not fair to him, he won't ever change his mind. I'm stuck and don't know what to do. I'm thinking about kids and marriage, but I cannot marry a kid who can't talk to me, can't understand that it would be nice for him to do some house cleaning instead of playing all day, and won't even listen to me anymore. I still want to make it work, but not give up our relationship for such a detail. But that detail, if we had kids, would be amplified 1,000 times. I know it. So he is at home, okay? He ain't got a job. It's been over 7 months. It's been over 7 months. He ain't got a job. And he's like, you need to come home from your job and help do the chores that he failed to do. Felicia H, hello, she says he's a bozo. Just Rhonda Hay says, he needs to take that PlayStation back to his mama's house. Well, mama may require him to do some chores. That's why he ain't there. Felicia H also tells you to run, young lady. So our unsolicited advice is you need to go. Why is it taking 7 months? I have a few questions. Why is it taking 7 months? A job, usually the probationary period is 90 days. People like the 90-day period. But 7 months he doesn't have a job. What is he living off of? What are y'all living off of? He's not working for 7 months. How is his lifestyle being sustained? Hey, Chanel, welcome on in. He has not been working for 7 months. How is the lifestyle being kept? Are you the one being the breadwinner now? Because does he have 7 months worth of savings or more? He is home all day, as you say, playing video games, waking up at midday, and he doesn't want to do the laundry. He wants you to come help do the laundry. He has all the time in the world. I'm not disparaging people who work and have their time for their video games, but his primary job right now that ain't making no money is video games. And let's just say there are video game tournaments I know where the prize money is a lot, but he ain't looking to be playing for no prize money. Look how he just be playing just to be playing at home. Just Rhonda said he is not looking for a job. I wonder if he is. I doubt it. If he had a job offer, do we think he would take it? Why would he? He ain't got to do full chores. He's trying to do it 50-50 with her. He also getting room, board. Why would he try to find another job? And as we said, they are in their 20s. Girl, if you're thinking about marriage, you're on the right path. If you had marriage and kids, this would be amplified by 1,000. So no, unsolicited advice. He got enough time to find a job. Now you got to find your spine to tell him this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. You're gonna have to move out. As Rhonda said, Go to your mother's house. If you don't have a job by this date, go to your mother's house. Go live elsewhere. Because I can't sustain both of us and sustain the household. And then him telling you if both of us work, then no chores will be done. No, y'all would just adjust. But since you are home, you do more. Again, it's not a matter of 50-50, it's what's best for the household. So I'm not sure what the whole splitting chores is, but his split ain't adding up. It just ain't adding up. So y'all put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. What is your unsolicited advice for this young lady? Let her know. We have said run. We have said he's a bozo. We have said go. Let him go back to his mama's house, and he should be looking for a job. If he ain't, it's 7 months. That's enough time. I'm only trying to be nice to say give him a specific date to have a job and have his finances together. But girl, you don't need to give him too much time. 7 months is way longer than he needs. Because listen up, once he goes back out there in the job market, this 7 month gap, they're gonna ask, well, what were you doing? Why did you have a 7 month gap in on your resume? And it's gonna be harder for him to find a job with this gap. I'm just saying, he's just setting himself up for future failure. That's all I'm saying. Let's get to the next story. We get a little spicier and spicier with each story. The next story, the next person asking for advice. Okay? Ooh, the next person asking for advice. Boyfriend made a comment about how he would have dated one of his female friends if she had given him the chance. Now he's mad at me for being upset about it. Okay, this 22-year-old female is saying that her 25-year-old boyfriend made a comment that he would have dated one of his female friends if she had given him the chance. She said, I hope this title isn't too long. I'm looking for advice. So tonight, me and my boyfriend were meant to be going out with a group of his old school friends. I've met them all before. They're all nice. But there's this one girl, however. For the purpose of this post, I will call her D. She's a 24-year-old female. I don't dislike her. I've always been uncertain about her, maybe due to her really flirtatious and reckless nature. The fact that she doesn't mind seeing, other men despite having a boyfriend too. So you heard that? The young lady don't mind seeing other men despite having a boyfriend. So not just flirtatious, she's out here being, how can I say, community property. But other than that, she's always nice to me. This morning in bed, me and my boyfriend were looking over some old photos before I met him. That's always, girl, that always takes you down a rabbit hole. Amongst them were selfies of just him and D. Okay? Just him and D. I jokingly said, oh, there's that one. Did you have the hots for her? Okay? Why so many pictures of her? He laughed and said, yeah, I would have dated her if she had given me the chance. But, I would have dated anyone back then. We did not argue. We didn't make a scene. I didn't make a scene. I just rolled over and he did the same. And after 10 minutes of laying silent, I got up, went downstairs to start my day. I made coffee and in my usual spot in the kitchen. After 30 minutes, he came down. He was really mad, questioning me, accusing me of taking his past out on him, kept telling me how lonely his childhood was. And now he can't tell me anything because I've made him feel guilty for it. I've tried to de-escalate things, tried to get him to sit down, but he wanted me to apologize. But he was getting angrier and angrier, and I wasn't. And he started swearing. Eventually, I apologized, but told him he was invalidating my feelings too. He refused to apologize to me, said my feelings were not valid because, of course, I love you. Yeah, I kind of just sat there questioning what to do. He asked me to leave. I just don't know if I'm really the bad person here. So basically, he would have given the girl that's his friend a chance if she would have dated him. And now that he's said it out loud and you're not okay with it, now he's mad. Now he's mad at you because you asked a question. Yeah, this man don't like you. He don't like you. You're the consolation prize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're the consolation prize. He still hung up about that other young lady. He still hung up about that friend. And he probably wondering, since she has a boyfriend and she still dates other people, she probably didn't want to date him. And he's salty about it. But I have a few questions. Why is this? Why did you ask that questions? What do those pictures look like? Having selfies with friends is one thing, but I want to see what those pictures look like for you to question it. What is it? Are they looking at each other a certain way? Are they posed? What gave you an inkling other than flirtatious behavior? Because it's a perception of flirtatious behavior. I'm not always a very open person, but when I get, gabbing with people and talking, sometimes it can be seen as overly friendly. I've been told that. I don't see it. So I would like to know, what do you consider flirtatious behavior? But since he's not going to be on the bench or the roster of the folks that she's dating, yeah, I wouldn't be too pressed about it. But I'll be pressed about his reaction. I'll be pressed about his reaction. Just Rhonda says, relax. She don't want him. He's a gaslighter. She might consider letting him go. Yeah, I would consider letting him go. I'd consider it. Because if he's going off on just pictures, what else may be hidden that you would find? How else would he react if you find something else? I'd be looking at that. Because if you're just carrying on about a photo of a friend, what else are you hiding? What else are we going to be finding in his phone or elsewhere that he has done that you're going to call him out on and say, hey, I'm not comfortable with this? How else will he react? Hey, Penelope, yes, we are live. We are live. We are on our third story where the young man said his girl best friend, if she'd given him a chance, he would have been with her. And he's mad that the girlfriend brought it up. She didn't even say she didn't like that. She just said she rolled over. So he was stewing. He was stewing. He was mad. He's mad that the girl, the friend that's the girl, he's mad she didn't give him a chance. I think he tried. And she's like, huh, yeah, whatever. We're going to be just friends. And he just, he a placeholder, maybe if she feels like it, but she ain't giving him the time of day. And that's probably where he's mad. He's probably mad that he is not the type for the girl who is going around with a boyfriend and still dating other people, that she ain't giving him the time of day. So he's more mad at himself and that young lady he calls a friend. But girl, I would consider leaving him, because if he popped off on just photos and you didn't really say anything, there's something else there that you may find that he also gonna pop off on, and it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty at all. So I would say, yeah, I don't know how long y'all been together, but I remember y'all are in your 20s. Yeah, you 22. He's 25. Yeah, girl. You could chuck this off to the game. You've had an experience and you can move the heck on, because there is something else he is probably hiding you don't know nothing about, that he really gonna go off about. I say walk away. So y'all put your unsolicited advice in the comments and let her know what your thoughts are, because it is just wild to me. Wild to me that he would act this way over photos that she found in his phone. If you don't want her to find the photos, sir, you should file them away. I'm telling you, delete them, but file them away somewhere. She didn't say anything, but you had an instant reaction and you had instant guilt that she made you feel guilty. She can't make you feel guilty. Not at all. So while I go grab the next story, please make sure you hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Over 50% of you are coming to the lives and watching the videos and not subscribing. And I would really appreciate it if you help the channel grow. So let's get to the last story. He wants to know if his wife is having an affair. Okay? He's a 30-year-old male with a wife who is a 30-year-old female. He said, is she having an emotional affair? Said, me and my wife have been married for 1 year, but been together for 8. Her work likes to throw parties for the holidays at the manager's house. I've never had issues with this, with her going to these because she's always let me know where and when it is and asked me if it's okay. These parties weren't an issue until one night she told me she took a guy from work to the party, and I told her I was not comfortable with men being in her car. She said she understood, and that was that. However, I made the mistake of snooping around her phone one night after one of these work parties and found out she has been texting this guy, and we will call him James. Not only that, she has been deleting their text messages. What I found wasn't necessarily intimate, but they were very playful. She was waiting on him to get there so they would go in together. She had bought him a pack of beer for the party, and he responded with heart eyes. Do you guys think this is an emotional affair? The once or twice I've mentioned that I'm uncomfortable with her going out, she said that he isn't like that, and it makes me feel bad and doubt her. I've never met him, so I cannot read him myself. What can I do to make talking about this with her easier? Thank you in advance. He says, edit, I did not go to these parties because I don't like a whole bunch of people. It's not fair to her to not go because I don't like to socialize. Y'all, did you hear him? This is a 30-year-old male, 30-year-old wife. Is she having an emotional affair with this coworker? Now, sir, sir, okay? You have not met this man? You have not met this man. You're accusing her of an emotional affair and you have not met this man. I need you to know the full cast of characters before you cast in aspersions. We don't know if your wife is this dude's preference, okay? We don't know. There's a lot of questions you got to ask or come with a few answers before we go digging into the wife, this emotional affair, and all of that. The fact that she is hiding, she is deleting the text or archiving it and getting rid of it after it happens, there's something there. There's something there she thinks she shouldn't divulge. Just Rhonda said, yes, she is not okay. And she is not right. The wife is not right. Yes, the mere fact that she's hiding it and deleting the text messages, the wife knows she's not right. The wife knows she's doing something that her husband or even herself doesn't approve of. But I want to know what is going on. What's going on? Penelope says, oh, we're going to leave this phone alone. We're going to leave this phone alone. Yes, Penelope, she deleted the past text messages, the conversations between herself and this gentleman we're calling James for this story. She deleted those messages and he found their conversations that were deleted. Why delete them? Why delete them? Why are we also waiting for him to arrive so we could show up to the party, the work party together? Why? I don't do that with friends. I do that with my husband. I'll wait. Yep. If we come in separately, I'm going to wait to walk in with you. But my friend, no need. No need at all. We're just walking in. I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to meet you at the bar. I'm going to meet you at the bar. Because you also don't want people to misunderstand what's going on. Penelope says he needs to go to the next party. Do we know where is she still telling you where the parties are? Is she still telling you where the parties are? Because that's another caveat. If he decides, like Penelope said, he decides to go to the next party and just show up, would you know where the party is? Is she telling you the right place? Because that'll be my next thing. What else is she dishonest about? Are there parties? Let's go even further. Are there parties that she's going to? Are these work functions? Because if she's lying about this person and hiding the messages, she could be lying about these parties. I don't know how many parties we having at work. How many parties y'all have at work? Just Rhonda says, I don't hang out with work people like that. I don't either. I don't. I have had a job where they want to go out after work for drinks or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'll see y'all there. And then I head home and they're like, oh, girl, where you at? You know what? Someone came up. I had to run home. I don't do hanging out with coworkers like that. I'm sorry. I'm there to work. I'm not there to make friends. I'm not there to socialize. I'm sorry. I don't even have lunch with folks. I'm sorry. You see the separation of church and state is the same separation I keep at work and home. People at work don't even know what my children or my husband look like at all. They barely know what my dog look like. I don't even have pictures of my family at my desk. I'm sorry. It is not happening. Not happening. But are there parties? She could be lying about the parties. They could be just going out hanging with different friends and different people and socializing. Dude, you need to do some reconnaissance. My unsolicited advice, if you want to be, continue to be married, you got to do some reconnaissance. You got to go, as Penelope says, go to these parties, go look and see. You need to meet this man. You need to meet this man and watch their interaction, because just watching them interact will tell you so much. If y'all meet for coffee and say, hey, I want to meet your friend, I want to feel more comfortable y'all going on these social gatherings together. Even her reaction to that will tell you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. It's like, why would you need to meet him? Da-da-da. Tell you everything. But here's my other issue. You said y'all been married for a year, but together for 8. Why it take so long? I have a question. I have questions. These all lead to me further questions when they tell me about their life in these posts. Why did it take so long? I'm not waiting. I'm sorry to the wife. I'm not waiting 8 years or 7 years or 6. No. Before, in my lifetime, when I was dating, it was a 5-year turnaround. If we don't have a 5-year turnaround, after 2 years, you ain't brought up even a conversation about marriage. So that 3rd year, yeah. If we ain't married by the 5th year, I need to be looking both ways before I cross the road. Because you know what? I don't have years, because then I need 2 years to acclimate myself to somebody new if we break up. 5-year was my limit. So the fact that 8 years, but y'all married 1. Okay, y'all together 5. It really took 2 years to plan the wedding? Unless y'all were engaged by 5 and took 2 years to plan the wedding, now y'all married for a year. What are we doing? What are we doing? How are we doing this? And y'all are, okay, I could see that. Y'all are 30. I could see where y'all got together in your 20s. But we waited 8. If we waited 7 years to get married, I don't have it in me. I can't be, I can't even understand people who are forever the fiance. I need to know how long your engagement was when y'all proposed, because I think you were skittish even then. I think you were skittish and took forever. It could be because you're in your 20s, but I think there was behavior you saw that you waited and waited and waited before you proposed, before y'all got married. And you ignored those behaviors, and now here's a year in, she's hanging out with a friend. A work friend we're going to call James for this article. And to the wife, unsolicited advice. Sometimes, even though you have a great friend to the wife, sometimes your friend, if it's, upsetting your marriage, upsetting your husband, sometimes you may have to pull away, because this is a new friend. James is a new friend that she's hanging out, having text messages, she's deleting right away. And, your husband hasn't met him. You should let your husband meet this young man or this person so that he feels comfortable that this is a person going to the parties he would prefer not going. But you see, I also think there are no parties. I don't know why it's telling me there are no parties. There's only so many parties your job does a year. I know jobs do Christmas parties. I know some do Thanksgiving, but I don't know jobs that do a whole bunch of parties all the time. Hey, Samantha, not too way late, but we had 4 stories today. One about chores, one about stealing liquor, one about the female best friend. If she had given him a chance, he would have been with her. And this last one is the wife having an emotional affair since she's deleting, hiding text messages with this friend from work that the husband never met. And he's wondering if she's having an emotional affair. You better get on it, sir, before this 1-year marriage, you're all together for 8, before it turns from emotional to a physical affair, if it ain't there already. You need to do some reconnaissance. You need to ask some questions. And even the way people answer those questions are going to give you the answers you're looking for. So y'all, give me your thoughts on these stories. These are four very mild stories. I'm trying to mix it up, spice it up a little bit. Every relationship isn't just between the husband and wife. The first one was about the, wife's friend's fiance. These are people asking for relationship advice, and there's some other spicy ones coming. I won't have anything for you till Thursday, but I hope I will see you on the next one. Leave your comments below. Please make sure to hit the like, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you share this with a friend because we will get into it. As Samantha said, emotional is so much worse than physical, in my opinion. So, again, y'all give your unsolicited advice in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.